Good morning, Morning Musings by Melinda. I hope you had a nice weekend. I wanted to bring your awareness with everything else that's going on between the pandemic still going pretty strong and the fires raging and Oregon and California on fire, sending firefighters and people there. All of our positive energy thoughts and prayers for success in combating these terrible fires, and it just seems like we are in a situation where we just can't even fathom where we're at right now, right? But I did want to talk to you about this being National Suicide Awareness Month because, of course, as a medium, I talk to people who have lost others to suicide often, almost daily. And it is just the most difficult way to lose someone because there are all these unanswered questions. Why? Why? What could I have done differently? How could have I helped this person differently? And I don't know if you've ever suffered from depression or felt the blues, but that's not what clinical depression is about. That's not what causes suicide. Clinical depression is a disease as deadly as cancer and often as much of a fatality as cancer may be. Can we survive clinical depression? Absolutely. But we have to start having some awareness of how suicide is such a present situation in our country right now. It is the 10th leading cause of death in the U.S., and it is the second leading cause of death in ages 10 through 34. And you heard me correctly, age 10. I have actually talked to a 10-year-old from the other side of the veil that left that way, and it was because of bullying and some issues in the family that didn't really recognize the bullying and give or lend the support. We need to take that stuff seriously. It is the fourth cause of death in ages 35 to 54, and there are 2.5 times more suicides in this country than there are homicides. There are certain groups that are more likely to have these kinds of depression where it leads to suicide. Native Americans, natives from Alaska, usually white men, and of course we do have a problem with teenagers. So I wanted you to start understanding suicide a little bit better. It's not selfish. It's the worst thing you could possibly say is suicide is the most selfish thing somebody can do. That's not what it is at all. People who take their lives that way often feel that the world is better off without them, believe it or not. And, sometimes all someone needs is somebody to listen to them. Encourage somebody that you know that suffers from clinical depression to go get professional help. Make sure that you reach out to somebody that suffers from depression. In this pandemic, there are a lot of people, especially senior citizens, who are really lonely and depressed and having difficulty with the isolation. Make sure that you are practicing some human kindness and understanding and compassion and regard for people and respect. I am the mother of someone who suffers from clinical depression who has been hospitalized for it. He has expressed to me often how difficult it is to live with this disease. And I do on my website, melindavail.com, have an interview between he and I about him suffering from depression and what it feels like to be a family trying to support someone who lives that way. It is not something that he desires to do. He is not down in the dumps. He doesn't need to pull himself up from his bootstraps. None of those things apply. It is the way his brain operates, and he has to take medication for it. So we need to start educating ourselves about suicide and have an awareness of it. And if you want to see a great organization that's working hard on suicide awareness and the aftermath of suicide as well as drug addiction, which can often lead to suicide, please check out ericshouse.org, which is an organization near and dear to my heart that I am part of, and I hope that you will make yourself have a better awareness of what suicide means this month and understand what clinical depression really is. I hope you have a great day.